Hi everybody, my name is Deborah Pae. It's a great pleasure to meet you. I am the professor of cello at Eastern Michigan University's School of Music and Dance, and I'm really excited to talk to you today because I've been given a list of burning questions from students at Washtenaw International High School and Middle Academy. What I hope to provide for you is an idea of what a successful and fulfilling career in the performing arts can look like. As I mentioned earlier, I'm the professor of cello at Eastern Michigan University, but I also wear many other hats as a performer, as an educator, and as an arts advocate. So as a performer, I've been playing the cello for over 25 years, and I've enjoyed giving tons of solo and chamber music concerts throughout the United States, Europe, and Asia, but my real specialty is chamber music. I'm the cellist of two internationally acclaimed chamber ensembles, the Formosa Quartet, which is a string quartet, and the Namirovsky-Lark-Pae Trio, or NLP Trio for short. The NLP Trio is a piano trio, and with both of these ensembles, I not only get to travel and perform concerts throughout the world, but I've also had the opportunity to be a recording artist, record a number of albums together, to teach with my colleagues who are also, by the way, really good friends of mine. And we are guest artists at various music festivals throughout the United States, Canada, and Asia. And really a huge part of what we do is work with the next generation of young artists who, like you, are super passionate about music, are hungry to learn, and want to use music as a way to not only enrich your lives, but the communities around you. Okay, so this is a loaded question, and it doesn't only have to do with where I went to school. It has a lot to do with the people that I've encountered in my life, the support system that I've been incredibly lucky to have, and also the opportunities and experiences that I just embraced to further myself in my career. So maybe if we start from the beginning, I grew up on the East Coast, and I enjoyed a super enriching educational experience, both academically and musically. And although I was very serious about music from an early age, my parents were really adamant about me having a well-rounded education and being exposed to as much as possible, including music. I also took private lessons, and I attended the Juilliard School's pre-college division in New York City, which is a very exciting and rigorous music program on Saturdays. And so, Monday through Friday I'd go to school, and then Saturdays I would spend all day in New York City first of all, being with like-minded young musicians who are just crazy about music and wanting to geek out together, but also taking music theory, ear training classes, playing in a number of high-level orchestras and chamber ensembles. I did my undergraduate degree at the Juilliard School in New York, and then shortly after that, I moved to Boston to do my master's at the New England Conservatory. I had this really amazing opportunity. I received a BB grant, which is the musician's equivalent to a Fulbright to go study in Brussels, Belgium, where I did an artist in residence position at the Queen Elizabeth Music Chapelle. Another part of my educational journey came from trying to take risks, try not to be afraid of taking risks, even though it can be scary and you can feel vulnerable. I learned a great deal from real life experiences and being open to opportunities that came my way and saying yes to a lot of things that perhaps in the moment I didn't think I was completely equipped for, but I wanted to know that I could do it. I wanted to know that I could conquer it. I think it's also important generally to acknowledge that as a musician, it's not enough to play your instrument well. You have to cultivate a large number of skill sets that are essential to becoming a 21st century musician. A career in music can be awesome. I would be lying if I said it was easy, but honestly, if it was easy, everyone would be doing it. There are challenges, absolutely. First of all, as a performer, I think even though I play a ton of concerts and I travel the world, I think we still need to get away from the fact that having a career in music only means that you perform. That is absolutely not the case. That is not true. Just also acknowledge that there are so many avenues that you can engage in the arts, and oftentimes they overlap. For example, I'm a performer, I'm an educator, I'm a recording artist. I've also recently begun delving into record producing, which is a very different skill set. I'm an art administrator, I'm a fundraiser, I'm a public speaker. This is not necessarily my area of expertise, but you could become a music therapist, someone who uses clinical and evidence-based research to literally transform the lives of people through music. You could be a community music director, you could be a school director, you could be in higher education like a university, college, or conservatory. If you really love record making or recording, you could become a sound engineer, an acoustician, a videographer for the art. If you're wicked talented and fast and innovative with social media or technology, you could become a public relations specialist. Another really important thing, and something that I'm trying to encourage my students to really think about, that I'm thinking about as a musician and as a person of color, is how to use music as a way for activism. How do we use music and our talent and our art to address social issues, social justice issues? And I think even if you're not a professional, you can still engage in important ways with your community in the arts. To be honest, even though I teach at a university, I don't think I can answer this question as accurately as some of my own students could who are music majors. So this is what I did. I sent them your question, and here's what they said. One student said, it can be stressful, but if you figure out a routine that works best for you, it can be so rewarding. I've met some of the best people through the music program. We are truly like a family. It's wonderful to be able to do something you love with people who are just as passionate as you are. Life as a music major requires you to have a lot of discipline. I can't agree more. It requires you to have a lot of pieces of your brain in many different places and to be able to keep steady with all of them. It also requires you to have the ability to study in a way that is creative and unconventional when it comes to academics. Your work is never finished. However, it provides wonderful new challenges each day, close ties with your peers, a chance to work hard at something you love, and a very inspiring learning environment for your major. That's a really lovely answer. So again, this is not something that I can answer. I mean, I can project, and I know from my students' experiences how wonderful it is, but I actually asked them, and this is what they said. Participating in music as a non-music major was always enjoyable and welcoming. Participating at Eastern as a music minor only made me want to participate even more. If someone really wants to continue orchestra like I have as a non-music major, putting music as a priority is so important, or else it will be easily pushed aside and forgotten. Orchestra is something really special for me. It is a break from the everyday stress of normal schoolwork, a place to meet friends, and a way to expand your cultural and musical understanding of the world around you. I think that's really beautiful. For these reasons, I have made orchestra a priority with both myself and my counselor, so we work together to create a schedule that works. If it means taking a few courses in the summer, it is worth it 100%. Though I cannot stress enough to talk to counselors and make sure they understand that orchestra is important, but you can make this a part of your schedule too. Absolutely. If you apply to Eastern, not only are you eligible for some generous scholarships from the university, as a music major, you're also eligible for music scholarships as well. So there are some competitive awards that you can apply for once you are enrolled in our program. Now, as a music minor, if you are a registered student in any of our large ensembles, in addition to the larger scholarships that you get from the university, the School of Music and Dance has a number of them that are categorized, whether you're a first year undergrad, a sophomore through senior. I know in strings we have endowed scholarships that are dedicated to those who might be brand new students or students of upper class ranking, that demonstrate dedication, really great proficiency at their instruments, leadership, etc., etc. I think if you love it, make time for it. If you wanted to come to Eastern and you were studying something else and you wanted to continue taking cello lessons, reach out to the applied professor, because more often than not, we will have space and we'd be happy to welcome you into our studio. If you want to play in the university orchestra, reach out to the conductor. I can guarantee you that at Eastern, your inquiry will be met with great enthusiasm, and the community of students, which is like a tight-knit family, will be really welcoming and embrace you. I also think that there's a large misconception amongst incoming students that just because, you choose to become a mechanical engineer or a biologist or an African American studies major, that just because you're not majoring in music, that you're not welcome. And that's really not the case. We need to do something to dispel that myth. It's crazy talk, and if you want to get involved, just dive right in and get connected to those at our School of Music. And if you don't know where to start, the university website will have a directory of faculty. You can simply send an email or talk to your advisor. That's what they're there for, is to advise you through this process, and I'm sure they'd be happy to connect you with one of us. Some of the best advice that I could give is to keep working, being the best that you can and not being too hard on yourself. I think music is something to be enjoyed. You may feel hesitancy to get in the practice room because you're afraid of what you might hear, or if it might not sound good or it'll sound bad. Even if it sounds terrible, that's okay. I mean, you're trying to carve out a voice in your instrument. Say you're a cellist, you want to carve out a beautiful sound. It takes time and it takes courage to sit there and to sort of experiment. Not to get discouraged is one thing that I would say, but also to enjoy experimenting. Think of practicing as sort of like a lab experiment. You're mixing different potions, you're trying new techniques out, and if they work for you, great. So that wraps up all the questions that I've been asked. I want to thank you for letting me be here, be a part of your day, and also giving me the opportunity to share what the university experience could be like at Eastern. If you're interested in coming to play for one of us, for any of the string faculty, or really any of the applied faculty, don't hesitate to reach out. Many of us give complimentary free lessons to incoming candidates, and we'd be happy to talk to you more about what the Eastern experience can be like, and also to connect you with some of our student ambassadors who can really give you the deep nitty-gritty details of what it's like to be a student. Wishing you all the best and a safe and healthy day.